Our son Ethan was homeschooled for the past 4 years, so he never stepped a foot in a high school here in the Gambia. And let's talk about how we did it and where we are now. When we moved to the Gambia, it was in the middle of the pandemic. What grade were you in?
I was in 8th grade.
Okay, so you were in 8th grade and you were still going to school. It was virtual. Texas had decided to do virtual schooling. So that summer, we said, okay, let's look at schools. And so we visited a few schools. And as we looked at schools, I started to realize that I had strong viewpoint on education in general. I have issues in general with many schools on the continent and the curriculum and all that good stuff anyway. But there were things that I questioned. Now, I went to school in Cameroon, so I'm not pointing out a specific school, but there are issues that I had even with my education because I was one who failed 6th grade, okay? But then when I moved to the US, I became an A student. For a long time, I just thought, moving to the US made me more focused, is what I thought. And it wasn't until your dad and I were talking, he said, no, that's not what it is. The educational system in the US was more favorable to you and the way you process and the way you think. So it was same you, but different educational system that made you an A student. I graduated with a 3.9 GPA in high school. On a roll, the kid that failed 6th grade and was a C student at best. 6 months later, I'm now a 3.9 GPA student, while English is not my first language. So I learned then that the system you are in and how a system can fail you. And my issue when we started visiting these schools, I had flashback of a system that failed me. And so there are things that I don't like about the system. I don't like that the educational system in most schools in Africa reward repetition, just your memory. How good are you at memorizing and passing this test? Not necessarily, can you defend it? It's more, can you repeat it? I don't like that about it. I don't like that it's not always raising leaders. We want to make sure that you repeat what we say. And so there are so many gaps that I didn't like about the educational system, and visiting all these different schools reminded me of that. So for me, the decision was easy. I know for you, you had some issues. What were your issues that made you very excited to be homeschooled?
The fact that everybody has to look a certain way, the exact same way. Am I a robot? It's not even the uniform. No, not the uniform. Uniform is fine. I'm talking about the cutting the hair.
Okay.
Everybody gotta have the same haircut. That to me is like robotic. It's like you're raising robots. Like you look at everybody, nobody displays no type of personality. Nobody expresses no type of difference. It's like everybody looks the exact same. It's like you've seen those shows where it's like robots keep sitting down, all lined up, and it's like everybody. It's like your parents come to school, they don't even know which one their child is. You should be able to, like, I feel like children, because they express personalities, and I feel like school here would try to suppress that, or tries to suppress that, at least from conversation. I've never been to school here, so this is from conversations with friends. School here tries to suppress a child's personality and tries to just suppress your creativity in terms of stepping outside the box and being different and being yourself, in my opinion.
How about in conversations with your friends? Like how, because I'm sure that's not what they say to you.
No, that's what they say to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what they say to me, cross compare and see how life is of other people in other schools across the world. So even though they've never been to schools in America or in Europe or something like that, they can still see and be like, man, I wish I went to school here because you guys get to do so. And it all ties around the realm of creativity and also the lack of sports, the lack of physical education. Extreme as well.
But there is physical education, like they do PE, but no organized sport is what you're saying.
In America, you must do an organized sport for a year.
Okay.
To pass high school.
So like soccer or basketball.
Organized sport.
Okay. Yeah, and there are so many to choose from.
So many sports. You could do run track, run cross country, play volleyball. You can do cheer. I think now they little baton thing where there's so many different sports. I think physical education, just to keep your body in shape. It's just the friendships that you gain during physical activities that comes along with sports as well.
Which is part of the reason you probably did the tournament. I hope that when you go, Ethan, you maintain
for the tournament. Definitely, that's
we could have done the American school.
It's expensive. Barely anybody goes there. They got 30 students. Really goes over.
And for me, it's like for public school education, No, thank you. Now, biggest fear for me, and I don't know if you had any fears, was where we are now. And we'll talk about that. But okay, this is all cute to say you're going to homeschool your kids. But then when they're in 12th grade, is that robbing them of their opportunities? It's quite a responsibility to say, you know what, I'm going to take ownership. Because when your child fell, like when I fell 6th grade, my dad didn't say, a bad teacher. He was like, man, it's either the school fault or it's your fault. But he didn't take any responsibility. He didn't have
Right.
to. But when you homeschool and your child doesn't do well, you have no school to blame. Like you got to look in the mirror. And that's quite a heavy responsibility, especially when you're not a teacher. I guess I can figure it out or I can hire help. Is what gave me a little bit of fuss. So let's talk about curriculum. How do you know you're on pace compared to your friends who are in 12th grade?
The curriculum that we use, like, just follows the American education. That was simple to
Okay.
know that you're on track.
Because you're studying the same thing your
It's
friends are studying.
continue the exact same thing.
You use
Time for
Time
learning.
for Learning because your brothers use My Academy. Do you like it? Would you recommend Time for Learning?
Definitely would.
For people that don't know, please explain what it is.
Online school. No meetings. It's just the curriculum.
So it's a teacher that's teaching, but it's video, so you can't ask questions.
You can do your own research. You can just go back and watch the video.
And
It takes me a real long time this year. But when I first started, it took me like 2 hours max. This year, I just got a lot of work this year. This year, it's 12th grade, so it takes me like, the average, I would say 4.5 hours. I would strongly advise homeschool. And but if you're going to a country where the education is similar, then I would advise just sending them to school. And it definitely very much just depends on the child. But more times than not, it literally just depends on the child, man. It depends on my child.
if you don't have the structure in place,
Exactly.
and it takes a lot of parents. I don't want to sell this dream of, oh, you can just put Time for Learning and boom, come over high.
Exactly.
No, ma'am. No, that's not how it works. A parent has to be willing.
It's a dedicate to your child's learning.
That we start at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
If it's like somebody has to take ownership, if both parents great, but somebody has to be responsible and take ownership, and it's quite a thing. So no, I don't teach the curriculum. Praise the Lord, because we'd be in trouble if I had to. You guys have tutors because the subjects, math and English or German, or piano. Junior does piano. Piano is not my area of expertise, so they're paying extra for that. So I also want to say that homeschooling is not necessarily cheap. I never did the math, but when I did the math, I think we're probably spending about $600 on homeschooling. It's not necessarily the cheap option because we're spending a bunch of that on tutoring and then the online platform. And if you're PE and bringing somebody to do PE and all the things, it adds up. But for me, the quality has been incredible. Would I homeschool? I'm happy we did that for you. And I'm excited to see you go and try so I can be like, confident. It's like, we think it works. It kind of worked up to this point. But there's that like how college gave me much more confidence. But with it, not the easiest path. The easier path, just drop them kids. And then when it's 4 p.m., you're like, come back, kids. That's the easiest. Homeschooling requires it.
Yeah.
Ethan, we're closing with this. What would you say to a parent that are going to be home Africa?
I would tell them start doing other stuff, like start a business or something. Think outside the box to have social life, because you're not gonna have social life if you stay inside the house. So become an outgoing person. Just become outgoing. Yeah, make friends, start activities that might not be where you're at, and it's gonna be easier for you to make friends because people like foreigners. So yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you comment and subscribe. And if you have any additional questions for Ethan, drop them in the comments and he'll make sure to answer them. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.